All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the DM and Friends. I am DM Angelo, and tonight I have with me, I have Jeff Johnson. You guys will know him as Jeff Johnson on the chat room.
How's it going, everybody?
And a fellow old school gamer with me. And of course, you guys, we don't even need to introduce this guy, but below us here, we have the one and only Allen Hammack. Thank you for joining on, man. In our BOOTHILL, our BOOTHILL episode, we're going to talk about. We're all three lovers of BOOTHILL, so I feel we can fill an hour of chit chat about one of our favorite games. So thanks for coming on, Allen.
Sure.
And last minute too. That was super awesome. I think I texted you a couple days ago, and you're like, "Heck yeah, yeah." So,
you said, you want to do another show, and I said, okay. And then on Facebook I see, oh, it's tomorrow. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks for jumping on, man. Yeah, we're gonna talk a lot about BOOTHILL tonight. We're this guy is obviously the one who can speak on it. So. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So I'm going to go to the chats here really quick. I see there's a bunch of people on already. Freezer, you were the first one on here. Thanks for jumping on. Matthew Sherman's here. Mark the Shark, Glenn Finney, Agile Monk, the one and only. Thank you for jumping on. By the way, before we get into our topic tonight, which, by the way, guys, I hope you guys can hear me. We got 2 into 1 mic, so
let us know for sure.
Let us know. I do want to bring up a couple things before we dive into this. I spoke with Agile Monk earlier, and he, those of you guys that are going to EggCon, Agile's starting something. He's very passionate about about helping vets. So. Veterans of, our veterans and specifically disabled veterans. So I'm going to bring up something here. Let me make sure I do this correctly. He worked out a deal for EggCon with Heidi and Eric over there. And this is very, very cool and very interesting. And I'm going to be pushing this for every show. But he is... doing a Veteran Heroes Wanted. Agile Monks Veterans Helping Veterans has partnered with EggCon to provide complimentary 4-day badges to EggCon 3 this year. So, and I'm going to take the scroll off because I guess we're cutting the bottom of it. Let me see here. Captions. Let me hide it. So on the very, very bottom there, you guys see it says, for more information on how to claim a badge, please email agilemonk@icloud.com. So I fully back this whole effort, and I think most of us, 99.9999999% do. This is a very great cause. I will be bringing this up on every show. But kudos to you, Agile. I just... yeah,
it's very cool, Agile.
Nice
call.
Very, very cool. So you guys, and Agile, put your email address in the and I'll do it too. It's agilemonk@icloud.com. He will have more information on that. And by the way, I am going to have him on Saturday for our Saturday night hangout to talk more on it, because I can just kind of show this flyer and tell you guys what I know. So anyways, valiant effort and good cause, and very worthy of our show talking about it. So, and I'll put that in the show notes too, his email address and all that stuff. But yeah. So, welcome everyone.
Yeah, I think that is awesome.
And you're a veteran.
Yeah, no, I'm gonna get a hold of him.
Yeah.
Yeah, see what I can do.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So yeah, thanks so much. Yeah, you were backwards. There you go. Now you're forward.
I figured it out. Hey, that degree in computer science is worth something after all.
It sure is. Right. So we got Glenn Finney says, "Hey, Agile Monk, Allen Hammack. I've been following you since the beginning." Good. He says, Glenn Finney, "Hey there, my friend. Valley Girl Designs, very cool. You're here." Stephen Clements is here. Good to see you, buddy. And KB Talks with an S. Hi. So, how's it going, man?
It's going pretty well. We're keeping busy, and of course, as North Texas is nigh upon us, so
it's pretty close.
Things going on, but in the world of the occasional convention guest, there's always something else happening. So as we get very close to one convention, the prep for the next convention down the road, which would be EggCon, is ramping up as well, and even the Gamehole Con in October starting to have to get scheduling in and things like that. So we work on about a 6 to 9 month advance with the conventions as far as guest scheduling and things like that. Sometimes a year in advance. And so it's almost inevitable that right before you get ready to go to one con, there's another con special calendar drop. It's like you can be at this con, and then of course during that period is when you've got to be on your computer to get your tickets for the next con. So.
Yeah, it's definitely a ongoing effort for sure. So for you, you're going to be, and I see you every year at North Texas, and that's just, and I've said it on this show, it's one of the you got me back into BOOTHILL. So your BOOTHILL, I guess in the fantasy terms, you could say the hack and slash, but I don't even know what the right term is for BOOTHILL because we all die at the end. So it's the last man standing kind of thing. I love seeing you there every year. It's such a that con has become it's kind of like this big family reunion. A lot of us say that, and it's such a perfect size, perfect people, perfect venue, perfect everything. And the games there are...
The games are awesome.
Yeah.
2 iconic auctions.
Yeah.
The auctions there.
The auctions are great. And the bar is great. The food, everything is great about that con. So if any of you guys, and I'll bring up a QR code for North Texas, because I think you still can get badges online, but no, a lot of the games are probably
the badges are locked out, but you can buy walk-ups at the.
Oh, okay. He did lock the badges out. Okay, got it. Because they hit the threshold.
They hit their cap.
Okay, got it. I think he capped it at 6 this year, right? 600.
Right. Before the scroll goes away, Valley Girl, send me the information on your game. I love playing the games at the museum, and I ran one this past GaryCon. It's a really special experience. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. BOOTHILL read up on but never played. Glenn Finney says BOOTHILL read up on it but never played. Yeah, it's a great game.
Where are you at, Glenn? Because Strategicon in LA we play. North Texas, we're going to play in Texas.
Yep.
This is a small niche.
Yeah.
But it is one of the most fun games.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't believe it.
Well, it really is the simplest role-playing game to teach new players to play, because everyone has seen a Western TV show.
Exactly.
Or movie, and you know what to do. And I just say, don't stress too much about, looking up what the actual role or mechanics, say there for something. As the game master, just give them a probability. The entire game is played with percentage dice. And it's the ultimate improv for the game master, because you say, okay, there's a 40% chance you can make that happen, that ridiculous cinematic jump from one balcony to another.
Yeah.
And you let them try it. And if you don't, you give them a spectacular, funny fail, on it. But you don't get attached to your characters. It's not like D&D. You're not going to level up. There is no leveling up. there is a really minor increase in your chance to hit for a lot of experience in gunfights, but be realistic. Nobody's ever going to survive that many gunfights to get that. So
yeah,
It is kind of funny.
yeah. I mean,
it's an ideal game for a one shot at a con is what I'm saying.
Definitely.
Oh, it's the perfect game for a one shot. It's because you can jump into any situation, just grab one character, jump in, and or in your case where you started doing it is you have a faction that you're controlling. So where did that ever come up?
Yeah. Oh, I started doing that for my convention games. I don't know, maybe getting old and tender in my old age, but I got to where Boot Hill literally can kill you in one die roll, and it's not your die roll, it's somebody else's die roll. So you don't if you've come to a con game and you've booked 4 hours in a slot, I felt bad about somebody having to pay for a game and maybe getting whacked the first round, so I gave them a faction of characters, a small faction sometimes to control. But and so I say, okay, well, if your leader dies, then the next one gets the leader benefit or something like that. But my game at North Texas especially has gotten very popular, and I may have to reduce the faction numbers or possibly to a single.
I'm doing that this year.
So we're gonna, we'll be fair. We'll keep you in a couple hours. If your first character dies, I'll hand you another one to play. So
have a pool of characters. That's what I'm going to do this year, and they can pull it back in. It gets tough. It gets tough because your game, like kind of how I've been doing it the last couple of years too. You'll have a faction and you'll have 9 to 10 players because you have seats for 8, but people are coming on, and that's 40 people.
You can also tell the people that maybe had more experience in miniature gaming. Boot Hill is basically a miniatures game, a miniature skirmish.
100%.
And we'll see people that have 4 characters and they are clumped together in fireball formation, moving through town. They just can't. They can't break their psychology of spreading it out. To maybe give each other cover and things like that. So back
to the comments. Glenn Finney did ask a question. He says roll under. Basically this game is a percentile game where you would have X amount to hit and you have to roll that percentage under. Kind of like how D&D does a lot of checks and stuff like that. A lot of old school,
right. But in Boot Hill, most of your guns can fire multiple rounds, shots per round, and your percentage drops each shot that you take during that round. And when a new round comes up, it resets. It's also affected by, are you moving? Is the target moving? Does the target have cover? Blah blah.
There's penalties and bonuses as the target moves and the shooter moves.
Are you prone? Are you wounded? Are you, that kind of
giving opponent first move, which we've only seen a couple of times people do. That's somebody who knows how to play a con character. Your move, Buckwheat.
I see Stephen Kennedy on here. Good. Thanks for joining. I've never seen you on, so thanks for tuning in. Shellback View, I've seen you before. Good to see you on here, man. Let me see. We got no one of consequence. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks you guys for all jumping on. Do me a favor, hit the like button, and if you like what we're doing here, subscribe to the channel too. And one more thing too, if you guys have any questions for Allen, now that he's here, he's obligated to answer them if I see them. So I just got to keep up with this chat. So Dreg says fastest guns never lived. We'll get to that in a second for sure. That was a great article that you did. I actually have it queued up because I want to talk to you about it. So so Alan, I one thing I really did want to kind of talk about, and I don't know if I ever asked you this. So like, tell me about, the early days of Boot Hill. I know you were in TSR super early on. Like, how were you introduced to it? I know you play tested. Like, tell me a little bit about that whole kind of.
Yeah, it's actually kind of a fun story because, of course, what I worked on, the box that people are familiar with, is the second edition. The first edition was a small pamphlet, with a goldenrod, color, and obviously, quality art there, right?
Yeah, real quality art. I mean,
but
I love it.
It's pretty funny.
You're talking about this guy right here.
Yeah.
And who is this guy right here?
Now the guy right in the middle there with his back to the camera is me. I posed for that. There's there is some speculation that was Tim Kask over there, but
you know the truth, right?
I know.
Oh, you're talking about which one over here?
Yeah,
that was Tim Kask.
That's lower, with the down on the table there.
Because you posed for this, right?
Yeah. No, I posed for the standing guy.
Oh, I got it mixed up.
I'm drawing, and the reason is because the artist wanted to get an idea of how a denim jacket would hang, and to get the shadowing and the colors right, where the back and the collarbone muscles and all of that art stuff,
Yeah.
Good artists think about. So, but the very first, all right, Stephen. Yes, the best way to bribe me is to bring a beer, right?
Freezer, I see your question.
The very first time I played was the first edition game, the pamphlet. And before I was working at TSR, groups of us from Alabama would come up to conventions at Lake Geneva. And I think we were coming up to a mini con, and that first game was done in 1975. So this would be either 75 or 76.
Yeah.
And one of the guys on the bus, we had an RV that belonged to the father of one of our players. So it was a luxury trip for us to come up. We didn't have to worry about hotels. We were just going to stay in there. And if you weren't driving or navigating, then you got to play. And we played along on the trip, and we were playing Boot Hill. The person that bought it was J.D. Webster, the cartoonist of Phineas Fingers fame, the very early Dragons, and he ran it and played a character for it. Was playing the sheriff. His girlfriend at the time was played a saloon girl, a Miss Kitty type of character, and we had various other characters. We were kind of reading the rules as you're going along and playing the game. And so we're asking, okay, so if combat would be just we say that we want to pull a gun and shoot at somebody, right? And he goes, I think so. We had never played in the game before. He's just trying to figure this out on the fly. Yeah. And so his girlfriend Lucia says, well, my character comes up to you, Sheriff, at the bar and asks how your day is going, puts my arm around you, and she puts her arm around him on the bus and on the RV, and then says, I pull my gun to your head and pull the trigger. And it went, she killed her boyfriend, the sheriff, right there. And I went, oh, this game is really bad.
Yeah.
But it got our attention, and then when we got the idea of playing famous names, the fastest guns that ever lived, which was the first iteration where there were historically, like Billy the Kid and Wyatt are mentioned in there. But we had a lot of fun with that. And then the first article came out, "The Fastest Guns That Never Lived," and Brian had and Tim Kask had gotten a handful of characters from TV and movies, and I was already at that point going, I've seen those movies, and being a gamer, I went, and I think your ratings are wrong, and this is why.
I was going to talk to you about ratings, but yeah.
And then, I mean, I'm arguing about, he should be an 89, not an 85, because in episode 3 of Maverick.
Oh my God. Oh my God, you were one of those.
I was one of those guys, of course. And so Tim gave me the response, which he probably regretted to his dying day, which, if you think you can do it better, write your own article. And so I did.
Yeah.
And I took over and wrote the next one, which compiled everything that they had done in that one and added several more from movies and TV shows
and that's the one that came out in this version of, or you're talking about the Dragon magazine?
I'm talking about Dragon magazine supplementary articles.
Yeah, and I'll bring that up too, because I actually because you wrote, I think you wrote parts 3 and 4, right?
I think so. That sounds
So let me actually bring that up, because I mean, I want to ask you, like, how the heck did you even? I mean, now I know how you figured out, statting these guys, because you have people in here like, let me bring this up, and let me see if I. So yeah, this article right here, guys, is what, and I think this is in Dragon 19, I think. Yeah. And you got, let me see if everybody, I hope everybody can see this. Yeah, so this is The Fastest Guns That Never Lived, part 3 by Allen. I think the Blooms wrote the first 2, and then you came in and you did well, in this one you did, the Maverick brothers or family. Well, go ahead.
The Mavericks, the Guns of Will Sonnet, and some corrections that I thought better for the Magnificent Seven. So
yeah, and then I actually even pulled up issue 36, because you did this one too, which was part 4, and this is where you really
Lone Ranger.
You went to keep it lightly, you went ape. You know what, on this you put the Lone Ranger in there. It's Han. So I mean, everybody knows the Rifleman. You know what I mean? And then you got these special abilities on here. I think one of them for him is I can't remember. It has
shoulder arms are fast.
Yeah.
So his rifle is as fast as a pistol for most.
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
But I mean, you statted the Paladin too. You statted the Cisco Kid. And here's looks like this might have been a redo, right?
Yeah, some of them are repeats, because we had people. Okay, back in the day when you didn't know to save them, people would lose their earlier issues and ask, and say, well, what about? And we covered that in part 1,
Yeah.
And they basically wanted comprehensive articles. And let me tell you, Dragon didn't mind either, because it filled pages, So.
Yeah. Well, and I would say that, and I'm just going to make a guess, that you were a big Clint Eastwood fan.
Well, I was. I mean, I was a big. I liked his.
Look at that stats on this dude. Yeah.
Yeah.
100, 196, 99, 85, and that is the speed, gun accuracy. See, he was 100% gun accuracy. I love it.
Well, I mean, if you saw the Man with No Name movies,
of course,
right?
I mean, you're not lying there.
There's a few of them.
Yeah.
Yul Brynner, Alan, is that from Westworld?
It's a combination of Westworld and Magnificent Seven.
Yeah, because I loved him in Westworld.
Yeah, very cool.
There's a question about Sharp's Rifles campaign. I love Sharp's Rifles. Big, huge fan. I've got a print of the cover of the painting for Sharp's Rifles, but Boot Hill really is designed for Civil War period, American Civil War period, and up to about 1898 or so.
Yeah.
And the Sharp's rifles. I mean, the big thing that Sharp was teaching them was his units could fire 3 times a minute or 4 times a minute, which was superior to most of the musket groups. And his riflemen were the accurate ones. And but the rifle of Sharp's rifles period is a very slow single shot, loader. It's not really practical for a Boot Hill campaign, I think.
Yeah, yeah.
Now,
you need them fast draw revolvers for that game.
I have seen a character take a single shot rifle, the Buffalo rifle, and sit on a high place in town and dominate because he was at medium range for the entire map.
Oh yeah, the accuracy of a rifle.
And well, not only that, if you a shot from a Buffalo rifle has like a percentage chance to stun the character no matter what the wound level is, and that means they're just sitting there standing still for the next one.
Yeah, it's for someone else to just take him out while he moves on to somebody else.
We had a game. We were at a game on the West Coast, Strategicon, a couple months back, and there was some rifle action going on.
Yeah,
they're deadly. They're deadly.
No, they were down at the end of the street.
Yeah,
and just stayed behind the fence.
Yeah, stayed behind the fence and cover.
Yeah. Well, the other, and I've also seen. Remember, Western sidewalks tended to be elevated about 6 to 8 inches over the mud.
Yeah,
I've seen battles under the sidewalks, people shooting under the buildings and sidewalks. All right, we got a question about what's the best edition. Let me tell you.
Oh,
I'm gonna say
we all got opinions on that.
I'm gonna say the one that I worked on, the second edition, was the best. I tease Steve Winter at every con because Steve worked on 3rd edition Boot Hill.
And that's this one right here, guys.
I tease him about that being the touchy-feely,
the touchy-feely version of Boot Hill. That's funny to even describe it that way.
Hey, you can find this on eBay too. It's pretty fairly easy. It's not too expensive.
Yeah.
And the game is fun. It's one of the reasons. That's why we're here trying to push it.
Yeah. Going to the comments, I know I've fallen back a little bit here. There is another question for you. A lot of mentioning of A2, a lot of mentioning of the Tower Adventure. Let me see. I want to give a shout out to Brass Monkey, dude. Thanks so much for becoming a member of Lord level, which is super awesome. Thank you so much. Yeah. So on this channel, for those of you guys that are new here, by the way, I see a lot of new people on here. It's so cool. This is the DM and friends. I am DM Angelo. You guys are my friends. This is my friend Jeff Johnson. This is my friend Allen, the one and only Allen Hammack. We are talking about Boot Hill today. If you guys would love this kind of content, old school stuff, hit the like button, subscribe, and if you do choose and dare, you can become a member of the channel, and it just helps keep the doors open. So really appreciate it. But yeah, Brass, thank you so much. We got some questions here. That one of them was from, by the way, second edition is my favorite too. First and second, there's not much difference between the two. Third, for me, you're kind of right. It complicates things a little bit to this simple game. You know what I mean? For me,
the first edition didn't have enough information. I mean, it didn't list enough weapons, and they had not. And the second edition incorporated some of the questions that came up when you're playing it at conventions. And I also saw somebody say, thought it was a board game. It's billed as a role-playing game. It's really a miniature skirmish game with a veneer of role-playing. So.
Yeah.
We actually set up a little town behind us.
Yeah, if you guys can
literally, that is it right there.
Yeah. That's the other fun part about running con games is you set out a nice big map. You get some really good. Sorry if I'm going to hit you. I'm Italian, man. I do all this.
They hit me for days. It's cool.
But it's fun. I like getting the buildings in there. I like getting the miniatures. I love measuring this. I mean, it's a full-blown miniatures game, but it's what's really cool is when people get into it and they start, and it really becomes a role-playing game on top of that miniatures battle. Doing their stuff. So it's such a good time. So
is there a practical reason to climb to the top of a building? It's not going to help your accuracy. It might help your line of sight, but it's going to be great for when you get shot and tumble off it. You get to make a nice theatrical description.
Yeah. When you take a look at who's out there and they hit you in the head, you haven't done anything yet.
Yeah, one thing that's a game changer, and it's you shoot to hit, and then once you hit, then you roll to see where the shot is, and there is a portion of that. If it's kind of like if you're using location as well, there's areas that you could hit that are mortal wounds, and that's a game changer. You can get a gut shot where it's a mortal wound and you're dead. Obviously, a headshot, chest, that would be through the heart, stuff like that. So. It's a very deadly game.
With medicine being the shape that it was in back then, there are a lot of areas that could be a mortal wound. It depends. I mean, it just depending. But yes, that's kind of funny. And I did finally take an idea that someone had suggested and in an early Dragon magazine and combine the hit location and severity chart so that it was one roll. Once you hit, then you were only rolled once more instead of twice more. And that is another con speed up, thing. Because yes, it's exciting for the person doing the rolling, not for anybody else.
Alan, I was just about to reiterate for the people playing, you're still rolling dice, and the dice matter, and they're going to screw you or make you a hero, and people love to roll dice, and that's what the game's all about is getting those dice rolls.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. You talk about, Alan, because you've made some tweaks to the game for cons, you know what I mean? And I've done the same too. And actually this con coming up at North Texas, by the way, guys, you're looking at the three guys that are running games for BOOTHILL. So you got BOOTHILL, who's got Alan, who's got his famous BOOTHILL game. I can't remember what day it is, but you're sold out on yours.
I'm running Thursday, right, Alan? Very first day.
I'd have to look. I'm running something every day. Yeah. So
maybe somebody can look that up in North Texas. But Alan's got his famous game. He's running that. I'm running 2 of my Chiriaco Summits, High Noon, shootouts in the streets. Doing 2 of those. They're sold out also. And Jeff is doing.
Yeah, first time I'm going to be doing games at a convention. So I'm thinking about going outside the box and putting a little spin on it. And if anyone remembers the movie The Valley of Gwangi, that can kind of clue you on what's going on.
What's going to happen on his game. And I think Jeff is sold out too on yours. But
yeah, that one might be. But I mean, we have so many walk-ons that we want anyone and everyone to play. So.
Yeah. So hit me up. Definitely. We got some room.
My second game, me and Angelo,
I'm going to run it with you.
Yeah, we're still talking about it. We might need to tweak it. And we're trying to figure out the analytics of it.
Yeah, it's called Deadwood.
Deadwoods.
With a
maybe
apostrophes around the dead
theme. Yeah.
So, but anyways, let me see here. Shellback View, you're here. Thanks for jumping on, dude. Brass Monkey, you asked who this is next to me. This is Jeff Johnson. He is a good friend of mine. He also plays in my campaign. He's the magic user in our campaign. So
playing Dark Hommlet.
And
played BOOTHILL with him in LA, and we've just been attached to hip ever since almost. And
is that what you call it?
Well,
that's kind of weird, but okay. Anyways,
we kind of realized there's not a lot of big BOOTHILL talkers, and there's not a lot of information out there.
Yeah.
So to get Alan on here and to be able to actually focus on it and let you guys know where we play, man, if you guys can show up, it'd be a great time.
Yeah. So to some of the stuff you do differently in cons, Alan, why don't you talk a little bit about that? Because I do this and I kind of squirreled and didn't go down the rabbit hole of what I was going to do this con, but over the years you've kind of developed a faster, quicker way to and with whether you have factions or not, tell us.
Until it gets into initiative, until it gets into actual combat, I don't bother with people rolling initiative. I just go around the table, left to right. You move here, you move here. You doing anything? You talking to this person, such and such. And until the lead starts flying or there's some plot point that I need, if it's not just an absolute shootout, then maybe there's something that needs to that they need to do. So, and I do try to schedule things like if my game starts at 11, I say, okay, no shooting until high noon, and so we have an hour of getting to know the game or whatever, or something, some chase that I'm doing, and then I say, you hear the bells for high noon, and
game on.
Then I remember that's funny because the way I kind of do it is first round there's no shooting. At least the first round. It's funny because Eric was in a game once and he had his best players from kids. We were playing and there was a young kid and he just went shooting happy in the first round for no reason. Killed Eric's first.
Great. That's great.
I think he killed his best guy right up the top.
And the other thing I do is I limit. I do let somebody who's being shot at return fire. I start comparing the speeds at that point, because it is possible that even though, yes, I want to return fire, well, you want to, but you're actually slower than this guy's second shot with the penalty, so we figure things like that out. But I do try to keep it moving. I'm aware that I've been on the player side. I know how hard it is to sit through 7 or 8 people before it's your turn again, so we try to keep it moving. I've explained the hit system that I try to do. I've got a template to keep, if you take a light wound, it's 1 slash on the body part, like your arm, and that doesn't disable you, but a serious wound or 2 light wounds will be an X there, and that does disable that limb when you're hit. So it's a simplification that works well for conventions.
Yeah. He does. I think this is one of your old characters.
Yeah, this is one of yours actually.
Yep.
Yeah. So what he's talking about is if you take a leg shot, it'll be a slash.
You put a slash for a light wound or an X for a serious wound or 2 light wounds. That's one of the when possible. If there's that's a historical figure, so I've got the historical photo and the photo of the most famous actor who portrayed them in a movie.
See that X in my head?
so you're not going to come back from that.
Here, I'm going to talk about this. Alan gives me the Sundance Kid. I'm like, yes, this guy's awesome.
Yeah.
So what does the Sundance Kid do? Sticks his head out around the corner and gets clipped immediately. Mortal head wound. Didn't get to do anything. So the rest of my scrubs just ran around.
I have played a game where the casualties came too quick and too early. Then I said, okay, it turns out that we have zombies, and they were coming back from the dead, and then once you are shot and a zombie, then you are unfactioned and you're just going after everybody. So that was fun.
There might be some of that coming on.
Alan.
I put a game description in the event description, but as has been known to happen, sometimes game masters lie. So things could be different.
Yeah.
Hey, Alan, can I ask you? You introduced you had lawyers in the game, one of the games we played, and they were giving out cease and desist order.
Yeah.
You kind of had a different game last year.
Or was that it was almost like the magic user in the boot. You know what I'm saying? He was doing stuff to control combat.
That was a particularly interesting year. A lot of us were annoyed with Hasbro for the way certain things had gone down over the year, and I wasn't the only one, but I wrote a parody where there were bad guys that were wizards, and they employed armies of lawyers, among other things, to hit you with cease and desist orders, and that would do this much damage and stun you for a round. So
remember, we couldn't use money. We had to have those special cards.
Special credit cards.
Let me go to
that was for the microtransactions, right?
Yeah,
so,
no, it was great.
For the
it was great. After all the news that year, oh my god!
Well, there was a lot. That was a good game. There was a lot of cheering and a lot of fun happening there. Let me go to the comments here. I do see Zach Martin. Good to see you, man. You're tuning in from Facebook. Good to see you. We got a couple questions. One from Freezer here. Let me get. Yep. Oh, so how do you hook? Okay, Freezer.
Yeah, read that one.
Freezer's got a couple good questions here. Okay, let me do.
I don't have the ability to scroll back on the questions, so you'll have to throw them out if they come down.
Yeah. I got a couple here from Freezer. Let me start with the first one.
There's some good questions.
So he says, question for Allen. When designing your campaigns, do you pull a lot of inspiration from? I'll put it on the screen so you can read it along with. I'm a horrible reader. Campaigns, do you pull a lot of inspiration from your Comanche tribe or Clint Eastwood films? What inspires you?
Anything that is of interest. I mean, when I was a teen, when I first started watching the Clint Eastwood, kind of revived my interest in Westerns. But I also started doing community theater, and some of the people that I dealt with were really into cinematic history, and they convinced me that I ought to look at even older movies and shows and study the acting, techniques of something. And then they would say things like, El Dorado is a great and funny movie, and I went, well, okay, it's just John Wayne and Robert Mitchum acting silly. And they go, yes, but this, the director liked the movie so much he made it 3 times. I mean, in slightly different iterations, and changing various aspects of it at the time. And then you look into the portrayal of James Caan is in it, and as a young character, and very cool. So that's good. I was a super fan of the Magnificent Seven, the first movie. Talk about a star-studded one and great music.
Yeah.
And then you find out, well, that comes from the Seven Samurai, and then you watch the Seven Samurai in Japanese with subtitles, and you go, brilliant. This is great. You can get an appreciation for cinematics.
Yeah.
Foreign languages expands your horizons for things like that. I saw a question, what part of Alabama am I from? I'm originally from Birmingham. I live now in Fairhope, which is on the eastern shore of Mobile Bay.
Got it.
About an hour away from Stephen Clements in Pensacola there. And somebody was asking about the Comanche tribe, and I go, well, and it's kind of interesting. I'm not going to proclaim myself any kind of native expert at all, but I've got some Cherokee blood in me, relatively relatively distant, but a great grandfather, so
very cool.
But I also I respect those things enough to try to, if you get close to that, I really don't want to step on anybody's traditions or toes. I like the television show Dark Winds, the mystery that's set out among the
that was a good show.
The native police.
That was a very good show on the reservation.
Reservation Police.
Yeah.
And
great movie, a great series.
But it highlighted the way that cultures could tread on each other, sometimes without meaning to.
Well, here in Montana, we have a lot of reservations. That's interesting. That was a great show. That was a good, interesting series.
But the Magnificent Seven and the Seven Samurai had, what a great noble-hearted lesson. I mean, one of the seven is convinced until the end that they weren't doing this for charity, that there really was a treasure that they were going after. But then early on, when the villagers came up and offered, all they had, which was like $50, and one of the others says a day, and he says, that's for all of us, and he said, well, I've been offered a lot of money, but I've never been offered everything, and that's what a line. I mean, that's a hero.
What is your favorite old West kind of? Old West, just the genre. But what is your favorite? Do you have a specific favorite?
Man, I like a lot of different ones. I mean, I liked the Man with No Name. I came to appreciate the John Wayne's and Howard Hawks movies a lot more than I did when I was younger.
Sure.
I liked Deadwood when it was on. I mean,
oh my God, yeah,
that's great.
Talk about a different change of pace, for that. And now I liked the Dark Winds, and Longmire was also a great Western series.
I remember seeing Hang 'Em High. Was it Hang 'Em High with Clint Eastwood?
Yeah.
And he got revenge on all those guys, and every time all he did was lower his scarf to show him his neck. I mean, I was a young kid.
Pale Rider was
Pale Rider,
basically the angel of death, a ghost,
biblical version.
Good, bad, ugly.
But of all of Clint's movies, I mean, Westerns, I mean, Unforgiven really, obviously is his favorite, because it's showing how the killing could affect somebody, and make them suffer in their mind over the years. So
no, it was really good. And considering if you knew all the other movies he was in, it was awesome, man. It was
Silverado was great too, and some of the Silverado characters have found their way into my games. So
Tombstone, of course.
So there's another question here from Freezer. By the way, you guys ask your questions. I'm sorry if I miss them. I'm trying to keep up here. Freezer, I think this is he asked a question about, is there any real life outlaws you found interesting,
Alan? Interesting, yes. But I don't like movies and shows that celebrate bad guys that much. I mean, I don't like. Yes, Justify was good too.
Yeah, Justify was good.
I like shows where the good guys will, if not totally win at the end, at least there's hope for for decency, you know, that the life of evil will sometimes karma will catch up with them. You know, I want to see that happen. And if you're in a show like, you know, The Sopranos or something, I mean, you just watch it for the laughs, but I'm not rooting for any of them. They're all bad guys, you know. So I don't particularly want any of them to succeed, you know. So
now we know what alignment Allen is.
Yeah,
All right, I love
sure.
it. Yeah,
for sure.
To the comments real quick here. Let me see.
Hi, Cassidy. It's my niece Cassidy is on.
Oh, okay.
Right on. Her mother Beth. Hey, great to see you guys.
Oh man, totally cool. Totally cool. Cassidy Johnson. Yes. Okay. Sean Maddox, Beth Johnson. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Mark the Sharp. There was another one up here that I wanted to give a shout out to. Sebastian Expander. Good to see you, buddy. And I know that Matt Sherman said he had to go, so good night. Sorry if you split already and I didn't get to say goodbye. But
hey, Freezer, ask that question again about how do you hook somebody at a con or something like that.
So we can see it again. Glenn, Lone Ranger, in the article on that, the Lone Ranger is one of the few that has a special. It's not a bonus. It's actually a restriction. He has to aim for the gun hand of the.
Oh yeah, he doesn't want to kill him. He wants to disarm him. This was a question from Freezer you guys were talking about. So how do you hook new players into the game at the con? Is there a particular hook or setup that you find most effective?
I tell them this will be the easiest game that you learn at the convention, because if you've ever seen a Western TV or movie, you know what to do.
It's super easy to relate to.
If you have any question at all about what you can do, you ask me and we'll tell you. And there's only one set of dice that you need to worry about, and the answer is pretty clear. So, you know, we get them excited that it's like a 1 minute teach, you know, game, which is going to be the shortest rules that you have to go through at the convention.
Yeah. One of my favorite shows is The Rifleman. I loved that show.
Glenn, I actually had the pleasure of meeting Clayton Moore.
Oh, wow.
That's cool.
When I was working at TSR, he was in Milwaukee for an appearance. This was right before the really horrible Lone Ranger movie that was done at around the 1979, 1980 was about to come out, and he was temporarily banned from wearing his mask at appearances. He had sunglasses instead.
He changed it to sunglasses.
Right. But I mean, I was 6'1", you know, at the time. I've shrunk a little in my age. I come up to meet this man who's obviously 20, 30 years older than I was, and he's at least 6 inches taller than I am, and he has a handshake of iron. And
he was a big dude, right?
He wasn't bored to be there. He was loving being there with the kids. I think he actually lived by the Lone Ranger's ethos, you know, and trying to you know, be a great role model.
Tommy Johnson, Montana. Yeah, that's where Jeff and I are right now, and Allen is in Florida,
Greyhawk, Alabama.
Alabama area. That's right. Yeah, that's right. Northern Florida is where
Steve Clements is in Pensacola.
Yeah.
The Rifleman had one of the best intros to any show.
Also. Oh man, what a great show that was!
The intro to that show alone was good.
Joseph Lore says this. He says BOOTHILL got me really interested in westerns. Got kind of Kindles of a Bunch, Public Domain, Hopalong Cassidy, a lot of movies. Recently got the Guns of Will Sonnet.
Yep. That's the no brag just fact, because that actually had a great hook in its beginning when a bad guy, actually it was Claude Akins, I think, was saying something about, I hear your missing son is the fastest gun in the West, and Will says third fastest. Third fastest, and he goes, yep, my other son's faster than him, and I'm faster than all of them. So no brag.
Yeah. Back to, since we're talking about, fictional, I go back to that article you wrote, Fastest Guns That Never Lived. How tough was that to gauge the
you're taking guesses in the old days, but as soon as the home VCR came out in about 1978, I was doing an awful lot of pausing and rewatching and
really.
I was a war gamer. I was anything that I could measure, I would measure.
What was, if you remember, who was the most challenging out of that list? And by the way, I'm referencing an article, and I brought it up earlier. It's in Dragon Magazine 36. It's called "The Fastest Guns That Never Lived," and Allen wrote it back in the day. I'm trying to remember when this came out. 1980, April of 1980, and he gauged all these famous people from Tonto, Lone Ranger, Rifleman to you name it. But yeah, who was the most difficult?
Well, they're just estimations. Actually, it wasn't that hard to come up with comparative things within one movie, but sure. An actor from one movie to another might vary in speed, and so you take an amalgam of that, and that's what I said in the article. I would say that actually it was hard. The hardest thing was getting some of the actors' credits correct, because TV had a tendency to shrink the screen as soon as the credits came on to run some kind of promo for the next show coming up in the corner. And all of a sudden I couldn't see the names of the actors who were playing what, when I was trying to get them for that. There was no internet to look things up, folks.
Yeah, I was just going to say that you didn't have Google or ChatGPT or
you're just hoping. Goodness. On the freezer, real quick. I didn't start this, but Gary Gygax had an adventure where his D&D group ran into a German squad from World War II. And this was called Sturmgeschütz and Sorcery. And later, as we were doing the revision for Boot Hill, we said, well, we need to do a 6 Guns and Sorcery, type thing too. And that article, which wasn't that little bit in the end of the second edition of Boot Hill that we did, made it into the Dungeon Master's Guide, the first edition, when we were working on that.
The conversions,
So as you're trying to make adaptations for one role-playing system to another, it doesn't really go that smoothly, but it's fun for the occasional kind of thing. I did have my D&D players go to what was basically Deadwood, except that there were dwarves there that had magic missile wands of 6 shots, so it was really a Deadwood situation then.
Another question, and I think a lot of us can answer this, but is there some type of formula to use to calculate the percentage of shooting, hitting, and missing?
That's in the rule book.
Yeah, I mean, well, I think he's probably talking about, because this came in when you were gauging the other players. So I think you kind of already answered this, because you just did a lot of research, measuring and stuff like that. So I don't know if you had formula.
If you look at especially the original, the first edition rules, the number bands of the ratings were actually pretty broad for the same result, or very close to the same result, right? accuracy and things like that.
Yeah.
You had to get very weak, like in the 60s and 50s, before you started going down significantly, or up into the 90s before you started going up 1 or 2.
Yeah. So let me see. I think somebody asked in here about play testing. Did you do a lot of play testing back in the day with the blooms and
yeah. We probably more so in the earliest days in 78 and 79. As the company started growing and then scrambling to keep up with its own growth, the time that they allowed us for playtesting was less and less.
Because I think, if I'm not mistaken, well, let me see, because second edition came out in April of 79, right? Wow. But, I just opened this and check this out. Somebody signed this. What the heck? What the heck?
That guy signs everything. It's not worth it.
What the heck is this guy signing?
He does, because he signed mine too.
Yeah, by the way, if you're ever in North Texas and just walk up to Allen, he'll be happy to sign anything you have that he's done.
Whether
I wrote it or not, I'll sign it. So.
I wanted to reiterate on Freezer when he asked that question about how do you hook people at a con. Angelo has a great setup too. His town setup is phenomenal. It was phenomenal in Los Angeles. It's going to be even more phenomenal coming up here in Texas. It's really neat. Both me and Allen used his stuff, his little town, his little buildings, all the props. That alone will get people to go, whoa, what is this?
Yeah.
Because everyone's seen the tank battle and the army battles and the fantasy battles. The Western is very far and few and in between. And I think that's why I love it so much. It's just so different than everything else.
It's all fun, and it's all fun until some player gets the dynamite, right?
Tongue in cheek until you're cheating at cards.
Hey, those are I've been in many games where somebody goes into and gets dynamite.
I'm gonna answer the Freezer in real life. I like a revolver because I don't want to have to actually move an action on an automatic. But of course, if you're the one doing the aggression, there's nothing to beat the range of a rifle. So
Yeah.
And in Boot Hill, it's kind of the same thing. If you can carry both, but if you're in close quarters,
it's got to be the right.
It's going to be slower. You might not even get it up before you get drilled.
That's one really awesome thing about this game is you do have a rating on every single type of firearm. So, and naturally, a shotgun is going to be a lot slower than a fast draw revolver or.
But if you get it off, it could sweep a number of characters.
Yeah, a shotgun or a scattergun in this game is really deadly. I mean, you can take the whole crowd out.
And I think a scattergun is like a sawed-off shotgun, right? Basically.
Right.
Yeah. It's where it kind of really does
I had to do some research. I'm like, what is a scattergun?
Yeah. To the comments. No, my cat is not here, Stephen Clements. And I won't read the other part. Yes. There's nobody under the desk.
I didn't even read that. Is that for Steven?
Yeah, that's Steven. Let me see. Oh, God. Okay. All the comments went crazy. Yeah. So, man, live during Shell back view, by the way, good to see you, buddy. Man, to live during the TSR era, what an absolute golden age for gaming. Yeah.
It was an adventure for me as a gamer, to get to help with that. So
yeah. And I don't know if a lot of you guys know, but you also, this is all about BOOTHILL, so I shouldn't bring this up, but we're a bunch of Greyhawk fans here too. You had a very significant role in the Greyhawk world too, which is super, super cool. So. But we won't go down that route today.
Yeah.
Road to Third.
Well, unless you want to.
A lot of things happening about the same time in the very early days at TSR. Yeah.
Yeah. I did want to bring this up because you're mentioned in, I have, I don't know, I guess I'll bring them up. I got every single module from BOOTHILL, and they are, I don't know, I'm anal about having them in plastic, but one that in particular you were involved in, and you probably were involved in all these, so really correct me, but your name is right on the front of BH4. Do you have any stories behind Burnbush Wells? This is Jeff Grubb, and you were special thanks to the Blooms and you.
Yeah, I helped him flesh it out, what we call developing it, at a time when he got caught with a assignment crunch kind of
Sure.
thing. And I think it was just, the thanks to the Blooms, Brian or I don't know, Brian or Kevin, got him the assignment for that. So it was fun to do. But yeah, I helped a little bit on fleshing out the Burnbush Wells and things. And let me say, I see, do I attend any cons in the Southeast? Not many, just because I don't do that many cons anymore. It's travel is difficult. So I try to restrict myself to the cons that I really like, that make it, easy for me to get there. I go to one con a year, in Chattanooga, that all they do is play railroad games, and I'm not a guest there. I just play the games. I'm just a player there the entire thing. But
you must love that one.
I do. It's a whole level of, if I'm hungry, I stop and go eat. If I'm tired, I'll go to my room.
Yeah, you're not on a schedule, and you're just
right. But yeah, that's a fun thing to do. So that's really kind of my level. Yeah.
Well, you're going to be at. I hope I'm not saying this wrong, but you're going to be at EggCon too, right?
Yep. I'll be at Egg.
So that's a great question. Like, what other cons do you go to during the year? You go to North Texas, we know.
North Texas, they got me back again. EggCon will be always a one at a time, thing. We'll take it year by year. Gamehole probably my next favorite, and GaryCon I had stopped going to because I was starting to have hearing trouble with the noise level, with the volume of people they had, and they made a nice effort to put me into quieter areas for my thing. So that was very cool.
Well, that's to double click on noise stuff. If any of you guys want to go to a great con that is situated correctly, where the tables are the right distance apart and the rooms are perfect, acoustics are great, is North Texas, man. North Texas, you can. They did
Brass Monkey. It's not Chattanooga. It's the Chattanooga Rail Game Challenge in January. So
yeah. There we go. He said Chattanooga is a Chattanooga. Yeah. So this is a question from Sean Maddox. By the way, you guys, thanks for asking the questions. Please keep doing it. This is a lot of fun. Everybody's throwing Western games out there. Yeah. So Sean Maddox asks, "What's your favorite Western game you played?" Well, we know what that is, or DM'd.
Right. And I'll give about a 10-minute warning here because I'm starting to feel the time pressure here.
Yeah.
So I'm still gonna say BOOTHILL. I haven't played all of them. I will say that my favorite probably was when I was running it, and I had a player tracking down another player, kick the door in at the upper part of the Palace Saloon, and got 2 shots off into the opponent that was there, and he rolled and got mortal wound in the chest both times, and the guy just stood there and shrugged it off, and the other character then realizes and says, "Oh my God, it's Matt Dillon," and he throws himself out the window, taking the damage from the fall because it's going to be less than what's going to happen when Matt gets to shoot him. So
yeah, wow.
Yeah, I love that game.
Well, Alan. Well, we got one more. You got time for one more question? Because
okay.
I know it is getting late where you're at. Steven asks, and this is specifically to you. He asks, "You working on any new projects?" It's a good way to close, kind of actually.
Yep. I'm very retired. I have enough arthritis and pains that I don't want to do any huge things left. I will occasionally do something for a charity project or an introduction or something. We'll never say never, but nothing currently. But fortunately, unlike a lot of people in the game industry, I had gotten away from gaming and did all right in my career. I'm comfortable, in retirement, so I don't have to depend on scrambling out, to 40 conventions a year and trying to sell $1,000 worth of games every convention. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's super cool. Super cool. You just, I mean, not to get personal ever, you just did how's your?
Yep. Well, I'm.
You're all ready for North Texas, right?
No, I'm out of the brace. That there's a scar tape there, but it runs all along down in there. I had a fusion in my thumb and the removal of a bone on the inside there.
Oof.
Arthritis related damage and a lifetime of keyboard computing. The thumbs go first. So,
oh, man. Wonder if that's what I got to look forward to.
Yep.
Computer, yeah.
And if your wrist is feeling sore, wear the brace. Don't get carpal tunnel, because that's even worse. So.
Oh boy, yeah, oof. Oh boy. Well, Alan, I'm really thankful that you came on. We could probably talk your ear off for another 3 hours but
run the whole gambit.
Yeah, I really appreciate you coming on. I really appreciate just talking about BOOTHILL with us. So
well, I look forward to it, and we thank you, Brass Monkey. Nice. And after our BOOTHILL at North Texas, we'll have an entire episode's worth of stories to share with each other. So
maybe we'll all three come back on and talk about that post.
Maybe
North
afterwards. Texas. And really looking forward to making new memories in Texas, man.
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun.
Well, this will be your second year there.
Yeah, only second year.
Second year, and
I'm gonna run some games already.
I'm
hooked.
I don't even know how many years I've been going. You've been going since the beginning, almost, right?
Almost, not quite, but almost. Every year they invited me. Yep. And I will say that really quick. Even though games are sold out, spectators are welcome. Come look at Angelo's great scenery and figures and stuff and everything that's going on. So.
And everyone's friendly, man. Everyone's so friendly there.
Yeah, it's a good time. If you're ever a first time, it's a good first con to go to. If you're
seriously.
It'll spoil you. It'll spoil you for all the other cons. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'll probably never miss another. I'll probably never miss one.
I make the trek every year. I love it. Thank you again, Alan. we'll look forward to seeing you soon. I mean, geez, I can't believe it's already.
See you in a few weeks.
I know, not very long at all.
It's right around the corner.
All right, man. We're gonna stay on. We're gonna probably talk a little bit about some buildings and scenery and just gab for a little while. But we're gonna let Allen go because he's got some.
Because I asked to go.
Right. Yeah.
All right. Good night, everyone.
All right. Take care, Allen. You take care of yourself.
Good night, Allen.
All right. Bye-bye.
Nice. I love talking to that guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I love love listening to him.
Yeah. And one thing, those of you guys, and I know a lot of people on here have either met Allen or talked with him. He is one of the most approachable TSR guys that I mean, all of them are, but I just enjoy chatting with him, on Facebook or on the phone. Hey, good night, Brass. And I am serious about the good time. He's and North Texas is awesome. Yeah, go there, check it out. Behind us over here, I don't know, you can see, but this is kind of, I mean, we were just playing around a little earlier, setting stuff up, but I don't know if you really can see that. Yeah, maybe I could zoom it in, but
what's great is the town's different every single time.
Yeah.
So you literally just
we just were playing around with it a little bit, and you set up a lot of miniatures and matter of fact, here's a little sample. I've just been painting a bunch of figs. So it's a very there you go over here.
Yeah.
These are a bunch that I've just been painting. These are all true 28s. And then you see in the back, those other guys, those are the 25s or maybe, from TSR. So they're a little small. Yeah, and then in the very, very back,
32.
These are more than 32.
Are they?
These are the ones that I was talking about before, guys, that are they're monsters. I mean, up against a true 28. Look at that.
I wish they weren't so big. They're so good.
Yeah. Look how much bigger that is. It's insanity. But we use these a lot because they're kind of heroic. They're big.
Yeah. Trench coats like Doc Holliday and everything.
So, but yeah. As we kind of wind down here for this, you get in here. Yeah. Oh God. This thing's gonna start doing the movement thing. Let me turn off the tracking.
We can kind of talk about how do you even start a game.
Yeah, we can do that.
And usually we'll just give 1, 2, up to 4 characters, and that's what we were talking about the squads earlier. And just give you kind of like a scenario. Say we give you the Pinkertons, or we give you the Cowboys. Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, Ike Clinton. The scenario can be like the lawmen know the Clantons are in town, who are troublemakers.
Yeah.
And the Clantons are here to bust someone out of the jail.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the ranchers, so there's all kinds of neat little scenarios you add when you give your squads out or you give your people out. They have little alternative missions. And of course, you give the bad guys or the Clantons or the Jesse James, you give them, make your way to the bank and try to rob the bank.
Yeah.
So, this is how it's kind of set up. It can start slow, and just as Allen said, as soon as the lead starts flying, it is game on, and it does not stop after that.
How many of you guys have played a BOOTHILL game at North Texas that either I ran or Allen ran, or this year you'll be running? Yeah. But how many? Yeah, sign off if any of you guys have. But kind of what I like to do when I run my games is I'll give out a faction or a group or a couple characters to somebody, because just running one person, and I'm going to do a game like that where it is literally you're in charge of only one person, but you might be in charge of a family or something like that. But they'll have a very specific what he's talking about. They'll have a very specific goal or objective to handle, and it could be the bad guys. It could be the Cowboys or what he's talking about. maybe it's their job to go rob a bank or do something like that. You know, it might be the lawman's job to protect the town, you know, that kind of stuff. But I like to do that where you give a specific objective. And if you have 8 different objectives at the table, you know, because you have 8 players, it turns into it can turn into really interesting where you set up alliances and where you know, you don't know who your enemy is. You know, it's kind of interesting. Here, let me go to the comments. Tommy Johnson said Jeff ran a game.
That's my brother.
Oh, okay, yep. Got it. Jeff ran a game for myself many years ago. That's awesome, dude. Yeah. Tell them a little bit about what you're going to run. So I know you know, do you want to give up the?
No, I won't give too much up, but I will talk about it because I did talk to Angelo about it. I said, hey, I threw this idea at him because I didn't really know what you guys might think, or if what the regular players might think. And I was going to throw the Valley of Gwangi, which is one of my favorite cowboy movies that had dinosaurs in it. So if you can just imagine from the title of the movie of what this scenario is going to be like, because the circus is going to roll in town and they're going to have some animals. It's just the animals are going to be a little bit different and things just might go wrong.
Well, talk about your Deadwood game.
The Deadwood game, we've got a scenario in Deadwood, like the town. And we're trying to figure out how a cowboy versus zombie battles will go. Zombies are normally slow, and if you make them too fast, it's kind of hard to do that scenario with guns. So we were kind of throwing that stuff out, like, should we have giant zombies and giant skeletons where, you know, it's going to take some time to get these guys out? So that's actually why I'm here.
I feel like he's going to have a lot of these in there.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can focus this.
And that's actually why I came out to Montana before the convention, so me and him can work on these scenarios and kind of hash them out and see if they're going to work.
Play test, you know.
Yeah.
All that.
So the Valley of Gwangi is going to work. It almost can't work. It's almost just drives itself. The zombie one is kind of, you know, it's just different. It might not be fun. You know, we might not do this again just due to it not working properly.
Yeah, let me go to the comments here real quick.
But that's what I plan on running. Not to take anything away from Allen and Angelo's, because truly this game is one of the most fun. I'm not going to say that anymore.
Dude, where are you going, man?
I gotta give you a drink.
Okay. Agile, dude. You gifted 5 memberships to the channel. Thanks so much, man. Let me tell you this. Gifting memberships, the super chats, all the comments and the likes and subscribing, becoming a member to the channel. I mean, that you guys, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. I mean, it means so much to me. You guys know I'm a fairly new channel. The DM and Friends has been around since October. The idea has been out a couple of years, and I took the dive in October, and I'm blown away by the response for this old school game community channel that I just like to get on here and talk with y'all. You know, people like this dude and Allen and you know my buddy Steve, Agile, Chris. I mean, all you guys all know who you are, and you know, it's just been a lot of fun, man. And getting on here, talking to you know some of the old schoolers and some of the new schoolers that are putting out projects, but you know, it's a lot of fun, and I really appreciate it, you guys. But yeah, Agile, thanks so much for gifting the memberships. Dickinson Post got one. Paul Catrone, Gustavo Campos, Clockington. I don't know if I can pronounce his name. BNAAUK.
It's in the UK.
Yeah. You guys all got a membership. Yeah, if you choose, get on there. Got a couple different levels of membership, and you'll see the perks on there. I'm still working out, you know, the perks. what that is. One thing about becoming a member, and I will talk about this right now because I don't want to forget, because this Thursday I'm doing the drawing for it. And let me see. Doing the drawing for this. So this Thursday on our live stream, I'm going to be doing a drawing for everybody that's a member is entered for this drawing. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the total, make a list of all the members, roll a dice, and whoever wins, you got to just contact me and let me know. I'll announce it, and then I'll ship this module to you. This is L2 Assassin's Knot. It's a play copy in good condition besides all the writing in it. But if you already have it, pass it on to another DM or a player or whoever. But yeah, so it's just my kind of way of saying thank you guys to all you members.
I'm reading all your guys' comments too. These are great ideas, so thank you. Yeah, we're gonna take
what is just posting.
Well, headshotting on the zombies, and that will work for sure.
Okay, because the zombies only die. Yeah, we were talking about that. If it's only, maybe it's a headshot. Maybe that's the type of zombies they are.
And Glenn's right on it too with this, right on board.
Yeah, inner city games design. I have Deadwood in my backyard and tree fringes. Okay. Hey, happy birthday, Chris.
Allen went to sleep, man. He was here for about an hour.
Yeah. Where's Allen? He went to sleep. Zombie Buffalo. Oh man.
Yeah, right.
There is a Greyhawk campaign named the Great Flyness River. Yeah, Greg, you told me about this before, where they're temporarily transported to. You've told me we talked about this. Yeah, I don't know.
I wonder if X1 was.
No, he's talking about. It's called the Great Flyness River Adventure. L2, yes, L2, Dreg. Let me see over here. Hang on a second. I need to do something really quick. Go ahead and read through the comments here.
Favorite modules?
Favorite module, doohickey. So I'll tell you what my favorite module is. Are you asking my favorite BOOTHILL module, or are we talking about D&D now? Because Alan's gone, we can switch the subject.
Yeah, it's fine. He's got to be D&D. Nobody knows BOOTHILL modules.
Remember, the hobby in this community brings all of us together. It's the best of the best. You are right.
Yeah,
man.
For real.
You are right. So my favorite module, I'm a pretty simple guy. I like Village Hommlet. That's my favorite module of all time.
Shocking.
And I mean, I have a campaign right now that's been going on forever. It's called Hommlet Dark. So, I mean, yeah. I like the village. I like the makeup of all the different, it's a sandbox game for adventure for me. So I like that every single house has got whether they align with the old gods or the new gods, Cuthbert or, the Druids. I call that Alona. But yeah, I just love that one. What's your favorite? Oh, somebody said Castle Wolfmoon as being their favorite. Okay.
Who's this? Who's that? That sounds biased.
Chris, I'm going to send you a message.
You know what? You guys, I've been playing. I don't know how I lucked out. I grew up in Sacramento area in California in 1978, I believe. I was shown Dungeons and Dragons. I was in 7th grade. Someone taught us. I mean, it was only a few years old, growing up. It was coming out of Wisconsin, and here it was in Sacramento, and I jumped on board. I actually got a paper route to be able to buy the books.
Yeah, that's how.
Because we were not that.
What was
rich.
The newspaper you delivered for?
It was a Sacramento Union.
You delivered for that one?
I even got mononucleosis because I woke up too early.
I delivered for the Daily Report in Ontario, California.
I mean, so I had all the books. I spent all my money on the books, bought every module I could get my hands on. I went through the big satanic scare where my mom tried to take all my books away from me. Luckily, my dad said he paid his own money for those. We're not taking the books away. So luckily they didn't go away. I remember the first module I read, S2, I believe, White Plume Mountain.
Was that S2?
I believe that was S2.
Yeah.
White Plume Mountain. It was awesome. Had a pyramid in it.
Yeah.
And the guys didn't last all about 2 hours into the module before they died, but it was fun.
You know, so is that the first one you played in was S2?
Actually DM'd. I was never a player.
Yeah.
Okay. I was the DM forever.
So what was the first module that somebody ran for you? Let's just old school TSR. Do you remember? Because I know mine. I'll tell you what mine is.
The first module was probably X1, Isle of Dread.
Isle of Dread.
Is that Isle of Dread? Because I remember the dinosaurs.
Yeah, I'm gonna put you in here.
You know what's weird is I played Top Secret.
Yeah.
Because the guy was a game master there, but when it was Dungeons & Dragons time, I was the man.
Well, I was going to show you guys a module that was my first that DM ran for me, but this guy over here has been here for a couple of days, gone through every single book I have on the shelf.
Yeah, I think that's
rearranged every freaking
Village of Hommlet.
Rearranged every single thing I've had because he's just ripping through all this. So where's my Q1?
I don't know.
Anyways, that's the first month. It was up there. It's gone now. So Q1 was the first module that a DM. His name was John, and he was a dude fresh out of the Navy. Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
you had it hidden. Yeah,
I mean,
this was the first module that I ever played in as a player.
It's hated on so much too, and I love this thing.
I love it.
I love it.
I love it.
And it's hated on bad.
Yeah, it's hated on. It's
But only reason this, to tell you the truth, this is my favorite module, but I just no one was ever strong enough to go through it. Yeah. You know what I mean? No one was ever got this high level, and no one ever made it out of the Demon Web pits. I mean, you had to get through the Demon Web pits before you even got the Lulth. So, but I love this module. To tell the truth, I love this more than S2. I just remember S2 because it was the very first one I ran.
All right, put that back where it was. Don't rearrange. This guy is something else.
Settle down.
But yeah. So, anyways, what's your guys' favorite module? So, Joseph, you did say something about Mad Mesa. You know,
it does.
Mad Mesa is a really, really good. It does have a solo adventure in the BH rules. Buddy of mine just recently, because BOOTHILL you can play it without a referee. I've done that many times, and so me and him went through Mad Mesa together and just refereed the game. Same, just played through it. That's definitely a fun one. Mad Mesa. This guy right here. I got so many copies of this thing too. Let me know if somebody needs a copy. I got probably 3 more. You got one now, right?
I got one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
But
and like we've said this before, BOOTHILL is almost more like a miniature war game.
Yeah.
And that's why you can play without a referee, without the game master. Just due to when you have veteran players, when you got good people to play with, it flows. As long as someone doesn't want to be a rules Nazi or
So Valerie King, SHW saw. I may play BOOTHILL in Texas this year. Yeah, if you're there, I will make room at my table for you if you want to jump on.
He just said it.
Yeah. I will make sure you're
welcome at mine too.
Yeah. Even though it's sold out, I'll pull you in.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if it's sold out. If anyone sees they're sold out, please show up to the table.
Yeah.
Because people won't show.
Now you're going to get like 50 people at your game for your first.
We'll have to have another game then.
This guy right here.
I'm down now. I want to get as many people interested in this as possible.
It is good. It is good.
And like I said, the community's small. Think about it, you guys. Even if that's what I told Angelo, it's like you're the only we are basically the only ones talking about this.
Yeah.
No one talks BOOTHILL.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people even know it.
There's a couple blogs up there that have talked about the rules.
I'm not saying we're the only, but I mean, one of the only.
Yeah. Chris, so let me ask you a question. So you said, what are you talking and went for 1,700 at the auction?
What?
Is a direct TCR lookalike, lots of copies, false prints, Mad Mesa, 1,700. What are you talking about? Okay. Anyways, yeah. So what were you talking about? I didn't understand your.
Yeah, reiterate, Chris.
Reiterate, or get on here and you can tell us.
Yeah, right. Turn on your camera.
Turn on your camera, Chris.
It's time.
So before we kind of close down here, I do want to give False Prince Adventure. Oh, okay, got it. $1,700. I think you have my copy at your house, Chris, don't you? Yeah. Anyways, before we kind of sign off here, which this was a lot of fun, man. Thanks for being here.
It's great.
Yeah. I do want to give out some shout outs to some people and some projects out there. I always like to do this. I am going to bring up for EggCon 3 coming up in July, which Heidi and Eric has asked me to be a special guest there, which I'm very honored and, kind of blown away. This will be my first special guest appearance at a con. So we're going to do some live streaming there. I'm going to run a couple games, and it's going to be really just fun to hang out there. We got to get you over there.
Yeah, I think I am going to go. No cast. I'm actually running two homebrew ones.
Yeah,
but we have been talking about that Mad Mesa. It's just the original, very first module out of the Boot Hill.
Yeah,
and there's not very many.
It's one of the early TSR modules for Boot Hill. But anyways, I want to give a shout out to EggCon because and I brought this up earlier, but Agile Monk is he's very passionate about helping veterans, and so if you can read this here, and I'm gonna let me see here, stop the caption roll. See if I can do that. How can I do that? Hide. Agile Monk has worked out with Heidi and Gygax and Eric Garland over there that he is going to, partner it up with them to provide complimentary 4-day badges for veterans that want to get into to EggCon. So this is a great cause. I just want to give this shout out to Agile. If you are interested or somebody, please email him agilemonk@icloud.com. This is going to be for a great cause, and so we want to make sure that everybody knows about this. I'm actually going to have him come on Saturday for our hangout session, live stream, and have him talk about it a little bit too. So we're gonna do that. So good job there, Agile. It's a really, really cool, and it's for a good cause too. So so agilemonk@icloud.com. All right. And let me see if I can get that there. Another thing I want to bring up, and those of you guys that we've been talking about North Texas so much, but this is the scan code for North Texas. Use the QR code. It'll take you to the site. I think they are sold out now. They hit the 600 ticket mark for pre-sales, but you still can buy a badge if you show up.
Yeah.
So, but they do cap the amount of badges there to 600 this year, I think was what Gary said. So hit that. That'll take you there, give you all the logistics and all that cool stuff.
You guys, this is the old school con.
Yeah.
First edition, second edition, AD&D, Boot Hill,
BX,
Top Secret,
OD&D.
There's some Dark Sun campaigns.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
All the old stuff. It is everything that you thought you forgot.
And there's Boot Hill.
No, that's why I said Boot Hill. That was the first one I said.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
I didn't
hear AD&D, Boot Hill.
I guess I didn't hear you.
Yeah. There's some really good auctions at this one. If you're looking for old modules, I mean, there's all kinds of people selling their old stuff. I picked up so much stuff last year.
Yeah.
We need to have a convention at Angelo's house,
Look at
all his stuff.
Yeah, that's what you've been doing the past couple of days. Looking at all my stuff.
For sure.
Jesus Christ. All right. I also want to give a shout out to DM Greg at Advanced Fantasy Games. I think he has another 5 or 6 days left of this Kickstarter. The Lost Tomb of Kazook Mott. Grab it. It's up there.
Yeah.
if you don't mind. Yeah, grab it. Unless you relocated it somewhere.
I did not.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah, this is the module that he has kickstarting right now. Look at the print too on that. I don't know if you've seen that. This is the module. This is a hard copy of the module. It's a really great module. This is part 1 in the series.
And he writes them like the way they used to be.
Yeah, it's truly an old school module.
Yeah.
It's really it's a tournament. It's got tournament rules in there.
He paid extra to have this knot.
Yeah.
This knot stapled, not so you can take it apart just like the old modules.
Yeah. So scan that, guys. Give that a look. Let's support DM Greg. He's from Advanced Fantasy Games. One of the coolest dudes. Go on there, check out his stuff. Let's give him some support. I know it's doing really well, and he's
got a couple more days.
He's a stand-up dude. So I also want to give a shout out to our buddy Mark Cheramino. He's got, I think this one just ended, but you still can go to there, or you can go to Dark Wizard Games and check out some of his stuff. A lot of you guys that are on here know about his mods, his adventures. But yeah, check it out. Mark Cheramino, another great dude that I like to support. And he's such a fun dude. He's been on here a couple times. Really good dude, man. Also, this is another shout out to Agile Monk. This is his Wondrous and Dangerous Consortiums. So check this out too. We'll probably talk a little bit about this on Saturday evening with him. But yeah, this is another link to his project that they got going on soon. I also want to give a shout out to our buddy Chris Clark. The Castle Wolfmoon Kickstarter, which is going to be going live May 5th, the day after May the 4th, which I'll talk to you guys about that in a minute. But so that is going to be going live on May 5th, and it's in full swing, man. He's doing all his stuff. I'm sure you guys, if you're tuned into this channel before, you know that he's in full swing with this. So, Kickstarter go full swing on writing and getting submissions and stuff like that, because there's a lot of people submitting to this.
Yeah, this is a huge one.
Yeah,
it's gonna be like 4 or 5 books. It's gonna be awesome.
More than that.
And look at who helped Chris write this.
Yeah,
very special people helping him write this.
So check that out.
Christian, great to see you, Christian. Thanks for coming on.
You know that person?
Yep.
Hey, Jeff, looks cool, my guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Up and coming DM there.
Oh, I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
Up and coming DM.
Well, and so that's the shout outs I think I want to give. And I am going to be trying to do this more, giving shout outs to, people and projects and friends of the DM and friends. You guys, if you're new to this channel, do me a couple favors here. Hit the like button on this video, subscribe to the channel. This is all about old school gaming.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a huge Advanced Dungeons and Dragons fan. I run first edition, so most of my videos I talk about first edition, but they can be, the things that I talk about can be used in any system. It's really just, it's not about one thing in particular. It's about, kind of things about gaming. You know what I mean? How to deal with this, how to deal with that. Give it a like, give it a subscribe, and if you choose to and you want to support the channel another way, become a member. That's totally appreciate it.
Let me also talk about Angelo's blog. It's called Hommlet Dark.
Hommlet-dark.com.
There it is. And
he writes on it.
It's the campaign he's been running for years. It's, if you like Greyhawk, it's all set in Greyhawk, a lot of history of Greyhawk, a lot of terms, areas, straight up old school Gary Gygax World of Greyhawk World.
You like it, huh?
It's great. In fact, I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I love it. Yeah. Truly
we have a
fun.
Good time.
Truly fun.
Well,
and
who do you play?
I play a magic user, and his name is Silver Sun. And guess where that name came from?
Where?
From the very first character I ever made when I was in 7th grade.
Wow.
I swear to God, that's a true story right there.
Straight nostalgia right there.
I brought that name back. Yeah.
That is an 80s or 70s name. For
it came off of one of the books my dad had in his bookcase. I took it right off one of the books Dad had.
Yeah.
Hey, my dad played. You know, my dad played for a few years.
That's awesome.
It was Dungeons & Dragons was it, man.
That's really awesome. Your dad played. My parents threw away all my books over and over.
Well, they tried. My mom tried. I told you that.
They did.
But both my brothers, and my dad, man. I mean, all 4 of us played. It was good times, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude.
So, hey, good. There's a lot of stories. And the only reason I brought that blog up is I have been writing for his blog.
Yeah.
And it's been great.
Yeah.
And I've went back and read what everybody else is writing. And it's
well, it's really cool that the players, we'll have a session and I'll put out a summary of the session, but then these guys will go in and do their kind of
first person view.
Yeah, your POV of what kind of happened to you. And this guy's really good at just getting down in it, because you've had a couple sessions where they were very role-playing-esque, and you guys were getting into conflict and things happening.
This campaign's for veteran players.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you don't want to rage. Well,
yeah, you don't get butthurt on stuff.
You don't get butthurt, and we've had people rage quit, but it's old school, man.
It is old school.
Yeah, I don't give mulligans. You don't. You don't get a second death save.
Check your weapon speed.
Yeah. So, yeah. But we're having a lot of fun, and it's the campaign's called Hommlet Dark, so it's hommlet-dark.com.
The only more fun we could have is if we live streamed it or something. You know what I mean?
And it's interesting, that would bring it up. If anybody is interested, because I am down one player, we have. I like to do big groups. I think we have 7 players right now, 7 or 6.
I think there's 6.
If anybody wants to join a campaign, you would be joining it, an established campaign, but I'm the master at bringing people in. I've actually done videos on it too.
It's weekly.
It's a weekly campaign, Wednesday night. It is online, unfortunately. I wish we all could be here playing. Just reach out to me, and we'll see what we can do. We'll see if you're a fit. See if you can stomach it. How's that?
Is that Greg? Dreg?
Dreg.
Actually, we're going to do another one, Dreg. We're going to do another behind the scenes here pretty soon, because it's been about a month since we played or more. And we've talked about that.
In that private stream behind the scenes. Yeah, you did see it. Well, he's talking about the video that I put out the other day, which was us playing. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it was just behind the scenes. You're right. You're right, Dreg. Yes.
Yeah.
And Chris Clark is in the group. He plays a cleric. What hours? Shellback. It would be 7 Mountain Time. We play for about 2 hours.
Yes.
Sometimes 3.
6 Pacific.
Last night it was 4 hours.
And we have guys from California to South Carolina, North Carolina.
Yeah. So we all get on Zoom. Who watched the behind the scenes short today? Have to DM it. Who all watched the behind the scenes short today? Well, it was a members only video, so you have to be a member to watch it. But yeah, that's one thing too, is I do videos that are behind the scenes, try to, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just having fun. I just want to, I told you it's 7 o'clock. What hour? 7 to 9, Mountain. So it's 6 to 8 Pacific.
Shellback Bew. Was that Shellback?
Yeah, you're right. Chris Clark is in my campaign as a cleric. Wish you were here. Yeah. Yeah, he's a tough cookie, man. He's a really good veteran player that comes up with some real weird stuff that he pulls out of his what. Oh, you know what I mean? Is that how you would say it?
Like I said, we got all veteran players.
Yeah.
And we ain't messing around.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone's close to death on any given moment.
Every given moment. Yeah, so there's that, and another way too, if you want to be a part of the channel, I do have a Discord server that we all are on. I'm pointing at the other computer. We're all on that all day long, just talking crap and sharing ideas. It's a lot of fun. Dreg's on there. There's a couple other people that are on here right now. Yeah, please join that, and it's a good way to just kind of hang out. We sometimes we do little hangout sessions in there. So.
Always slinging poo.
7 p.m. MT is 10 a.m. Tokyo time, so it's workable for me. Oh, okay,
nice.
All right, well, reach out to me. My email is thedmandfriends@gmail.com. You can get a hold of me there. Check in the description. You'll find a way. Jump on the Discord server, and we'll talk.
Shellback, what base you on? You on a base in Tokyo? Oh, in Japan? That's a Navy term, shellback.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? I was gonna bring up something else here. I don't remember now. Yeah, I watched it. LOL. Yeah. So some of you guys did watch it. Yeah, we were just playing around. I'm trying. I got a new camera too, and I was like, a friend of mine who was filming. We call her the camera girl. Is that what she came out as? The camera girl.
She's gonna be filming in Texas.
She's gonna be in Texas doing filming and being behind the camera and maybe in front of the camera. We're all gonna be there. We're gonna do some live streaming from not of the games maybe, but just I like going. I don't know if you guys saw me at Page. I like just walking around and talking to people. I mean, that's like the funnest thing for me. Like. I'm not going to sit there and watch, for 4 hours streaming a game. I think that to me it's kind of boring for me. I like walking around and just talking crap with people.
So here it is. The North Texas Convention is the networking convention.
You think so?
Oh, I totally.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of ex-TSR employees. Everybody there.
Yeah.
You think you got a story to tell?
Yeah.
No. Everybody's got a story to tell. Oh, you think you've been playing D&D since '79? Everybody's been playing D&D since, and that's just what it is.
It truly is an old school convention.
It is. And I think for me, it's a networking because I mean, everyone I met, I still contact. Allen Hammack's son. His stepson, he goes, he goes, have you met my stepdad? And he's pointing to Alan. I'm like, that's your stepdad?
Yeah.
And he goes, yeah, I won the lotto and stepdads. I'm like,
very cool.
Great people. Great people.
Agile, take care, man. Blessings to you too. And thank you so much for your support of the channel, man.
Good night, Agile. Thank you.
Yep. I got story fatigue. I'd rather game. All right, poor child. I get it.
No, I hear that.
Yeah.
That's why I'm playing on Zoom.
Shellback says I'm medically retired Navy, working second shift in a warehouse on base now. And you're Navy, right?
Yeah. Well, Yokosuka, I know exactly where he's at. I just thought he might have been still in the Navy since he did that shellback term. So yeah, cool. I love Japan. I'm trying to go back. I can't wait to visit again. I was in Sasebo. I lived there for about 15 months.
Yeah.
So
you got to go to EggCon.
Good old Navy. In fact, I'm gonna get a hold of. Oh no, Agile. That's his thing. Him, yeah. I'm gonna be him. Oh, he's gone. I think
he'll be on Saturday.
Yeah,
you'll be on Saturday too.
Yeah, I'm gonna email him probably tomorrow. Let him know what's up.
Yeah. All right, you guys. Well, dude, this was fun, dude.
That was great. I had a blast.
Yeah. When are we gonna game here? You just been rifling through all my stuff. We haven't even gamed.
As soon as you get out of those meetings,
I've been working.
As soon as you get out of those meetings, I'm ready.
K-Box, goodbye, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here.
Hey, Tommy, Beth, Cassidy, Christian, Valerie.
Yeah, that's super cool.
Thanks for coming on.
And you guys, if you can, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, and tell your friends too. Tell your friends, that we are the DM and friends, and I just love gaming. And
where's the Discord link?
Where's the Discord link? Let me get
it's coming.
Let me get that for you. I will put that in Let me see if I can get that over to you guys. Yeah. So yeah, just what I'm saying is tell your friends, tell your gaming buddies. If you're old school, you'll like what we do here. Let me grab the Discord link for ya.
Hey, Dreg, are you going to be in North Texas? Dredge 347.
All right. One last, Dreg. You can hit him up on Discord.
Yeah.
He's on there.
Good night, Glenn.
You guys, hey, thank you so. Let me give you a little preview of what's coming up on the channel. So, and this is pretty fun stuff. And I haven't announced this yet, but well, tomorrow I'm going to be on Ron M's channel as a guest, the Friday Night Live channel. I'm going to be there, just hanging out, talking with them. It's not my, even though I'll broadcast it, I'm going to be on there. He's got another guest, and we're going to just be talking. I'll probably be talking about the DM and Friends a little bit, and he's probably going to talk a little bit about Paige and stuff like that. But I'll be on there tomorrow night. Saturday is my normal DM and Friends hangout at 7 p.m. Well, 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 Mountain Time. And we're going to have a bunch of people on there. It's kind of a hangout session that literally sometimes has gone over 3 hours. So I'll be there. And burritos. Yes. And Monday, let me tell you, I have Monday. Monday, I have the one and only Anna Meyer back. And me and her are we're gonna talk about Greyhawk. We're actually gonna talk about a very particular subject, and that's the human cultures and the early migrations of Greyhawk. So we're gonna and she's the perfect person to get down to the nitty gritty. I am going to Paige. Yes. She's the person that gets down to the nitty gritty of, she does the maps, right? So she loves the culture. She loves where people are and stuff like that. So me and her are going to be talking about that. She's got a blog that she recently did too on her Patreon that was talking about that. So I thought that would be a great subject. I mean, you guys know I love talking about World of Greyhawk and the Flyness. So she's there. And then next Thursday, all of us from the gaming group are going to be on, and we're going to just do a Hommlet Dark recap for the month. So you'll be on. Yeah, that'll be fun. You'll be back home, I think. I'll be back home. We're going to have a couple of the other guys, the Ranger, the Bard, Chris will be there. We're all just going to talk about that. And that's going to be the day that I also do the giveaway for that module I was talking about. So that's next Thursday. And after that, I got one more person scheduled, and that person is, and that's going to be 2 Thursdays from now. We're going to have Jim Wampler on here. Woo. Yeah. So those of you guys that know who that is, wow. He's going to be on, and we're gonna have a good time with him. He's a really fun dude to talk to. So I love it. Are you a cat nut too? I definitely am. Yes, I am. I have a one-eyed cat, and he is over there. His name is Dash. I'll post a picture of him on the channel here shortly. He's the best. He's my boy.
I have a cat that's adopted me too, and her name is Cole.
Yeah.
Every time we play, she can't leave me alone for some weird reason.
Yeah, your cat kind of loves to get in front of your camera.
Yeah, as soon as I'm on camera, she has to be there too.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, you guys.
Ramzan Ban Fan has 6 cats. Holy crap. Holy moly.
Hey, Tommy, how many cats you got? I wonder if he's still on.
Yeah.
He had 8 at one time, so he might be able to beat Ramsey.
Yeah, I lost my girl cat I think in October this year. So I'm not going to get another.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah.
I don't like it either.
But anyways, that's the lineup I got coming on here in the next couple weeks. It's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of cool projects coming out that I want to talk about for my friends. So we'll keep doing that. But you guys, this has been a fun show, man. A lot of people. on, and a lot of great comments.
It was good listening to Allen talk about.
He's the best.
Talk about what he did, and the movies he watched, and
yeah.
I'm telling you, man, listening to those guys, the guys that started TSR, man, you cannot, get any better than that.
Yeah, BOOTHILL is so much fun. Oh, I don't know if I showed you guys this. This is I picked this up at Page this year.
That is the first edition.
And it's actually
that's a couple $100, huh?
Oh, I paid a lot more than that.
A few
I paid a lot more than that. This thank you, Ramsey. Yeah, it was pretty rough. This I got at the auction there. And it's probably one of the most pristine copies I've ever seen.
Yeah.
No, you cannot open this.
I didn't take it out.
Yeah, don't touch this. This guy right here, man.
I'll just keep it safe at home,
No,
keep it safe at home.
It's staying over here. Yeah, it's staying over here. Let me see. There we go.
Yeah, check out that blog. If you guys are really interested in playing in the campaign, read some of that blog.
Yeah,
it'll let you know what's up. It's been fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff. Yeah, I love AD&D, and these guys. We play first edition. We don't play as raw because over the years, I have kind of tweaked some of the rules. But
he plays about the rawest that I've ever played, though.
Yeah,
you do, and everybody says you do. So,
by the book.
It's not me. It's not just me. It's even Allen. Even Allen says he doesn't use weapon speed.
Yeah, I use weapon speed.
I mean, it's if you want to learn how to play D&D, AD&D, this is the campaign to join.
Yeah. I also wanted to let you guys know. I want to thank everybody, man. My latest video, which was titled "Why Do Old School Players Carry So Much Weird Stuff?" And so I got into, how in old school we used to carry around a 10-foot pole and spikes and this and that. My game is filled with that. Like I rely on player skill more than character skill. Not rely, but I encourage. And that's the old school way. So I did a video on it, and I am blown away by the reception from that video. I think it's on that video alone, I've had over 250 comments or something like that. It's way up there. It's one of my, I'm blown away. So I want to also thank you guys for that. And so it has inspired me to do a series based on that video where I deep dive into each weird thing, each weird piece of equipment. So the first one that comes out this Saturday is about the 10-foot pole. And so if you see that, I encourage, isn't that nuts?
Well, it's funny how many times we've used it.
Yeah. And it's crazy. There
ain't no perception checks in AD&D.
There are no investigation rolls either.
Nope. You need a 10-foot pole.
Yeah. So this Saturday morning coming out is going to be the first in that series that builds on that video, and it's going to be on the 10-foot pole. And I talk about some ways to use it, and I've talked about why it was kind of brought in, and my experience being a DM and a player using it, and or my first impression, which was like, why is this on here? Oh, as I played and I learned from others, that's why we carry that thing around, so we don't die. So what I thought was really neat was just to kind of deep dive into that. So the first one's going to be the 10-foot pole. The second one's going to be iron spikes, which we all know that. But what I encourage you guys to do is to watch it, and in the comments, tell me your experience with using that particular piece of equipment. Because I'm loving the stories of dude, I get paragraphs of dude, the first time ever, this is why, oh my God, my player. I love it, dude. I love it. It blows me away. I love hearing the stories. That's why we do this. So yeah. So anyways, Lil Jim, Sam, good to see you, man. I'm sorry if I missed you earlier, but yeah, it is kind of. I'm pretty proud of the game, dude. to be honest with you. And it's not, I'm proud of the game. I'm proud of the players, because it's really the players that make, I just came up with this idea and these dudes ran with it. Like to be a DM and run a weekly game and go back to this blog that, I started, because really the reason why I started the blog, so I remember what the hell happened. You know what I mean? And so these guys all wanted access to it, and they start putting their POVs on it. And that's what makes a great game, is when your players lean forward into the game and they freaking run with it. And that is the best. And I will say one thing, I'll come up with a little concept or a piece of lore, and these dudes will run with it, and I end up adopting some of it. Or I'm like, okay, they're running with this. It's totally wrong from what I thought it would be, but it's kind of cool to when players kind of jump in. I'm sure some of you guys have done this, where you have a piece of lore, let's say an item, that they find, and there's lore behind it, and there's a reason why it's there, and it's, and then the group finds it and they run with it. Oh, this is what it must be. And then literally that becomes their reality, even though it's not for the DM. But I just really think that's such a cool, that's the type of players I have, is they really kind of run with it and shift. I mean, they're driving the game. I'm just there,
truly
officiating the monsters
as it should be.
Yeah. You guys are running it.
Yeah, it's a blast.
And we got to deal with Chris.
Who's a blast?
I love
right?
That guy.
He's
a fun guy to play with. If you've ever played in any of his games, Chris Clark is a fun.
And last game was the perfect Chris Clark explaining how to use a spike in a door jam.
Yeah, he went on.
It was awesome.
I'm like, bro, you don't need to tell me describe the anatomy of the door. I understand how a door looks, but he got technical with it, and that's what old school games are about.
Yeah.
Is
use your mouth.
Tell me what you do, and I'll tell you what happens. Not roll a dice and I'll tell you what happens.
Exactly.
Tell me what you do, and I'll tell you what happens. You know what I mean? So that's really the best way. That's what I think change the fun guy or fun guy. Fun guy. Yeah.
Nice.
That's what I think makes kind of different, not differentiates, but really attracts me to old school gaming, is that there isn't a die roll for a person to walk into the room and find all the traps suddenly. I make the players go over, tap around, touch the walls,
spend 10-20 minutes,
look up and dig through the spider webs in the ceiling. I don't just give them a perception roll when they walk in and then read them box text. I don't. That's not how I was kind of brought up on the old school way, but not that other games are. I'm just saying that's how I play, and I think that it's more that, and we talk about this, that player skill versus the character skill that's on your sheet.
Yeah.
Sure, you can get people that metagame and all that and know the monster manual back and forth, but it's really fun to when your characters come in and they say, yeah, I go to the corner over here and I tap that stone and blah blah blah. Yeah, it's so much fun. Yeah, I'm not clean. So he says, yeah, fair warning, dad jokes are part of my personality. Poor Oak Child says, I'm not cleaning the dungeon. Yeah.
For as many secret doors as we found, it makes me wonder how many we haven't found.
Oh, you haven't found.
So
yeah.
When he says, "Oh, you guys spend 10 minutes looking for secret," like, no, we didn't say that. Well, you did. That's how long it took.
I'm big on turns too.
Well, time is huge in AD&D.
Yeah,
it really is.
Yeah,
there's no short rests, so time is huge.
Yeah. I think what that who's that? Kalika Tahara. That's a great show. I had been trying to engage the name of it forever. Thanks.
Nice.
What show? Maybe it was earlier. She's on Facebook. Okay,
nice.
Got it. So she's seeing comments on Facebook. Yeah, I think. Oh man, I just squirreled.
Yeah, you shouldn't have looked at that, and you were talking about.
I know, that's why I don't look at the chat, because it's that's why I miss everything. Because if I look at the chat, I squirrel. We were talking. Oh, what were we talking about?
I don't know either.
Squirrel. I love it.
How old are you?
This freaking dude. No, you're not taking my bait.
Old people trying to talk.
Yeah. But yeah, that I love that about old school play, because
no, you're talking about there is no, there's not a bunch of skills on your paper to look to see if you can. You literally, everyone's looking for something.
Yeah.
One guy might have a better chance, but everyone's looking.
Well, I mean, in all reality, everyone can be the thief.
True.
Everyone can be the thief. Sure, the thief's got innate, these class abilities that can make him, disarm a trap or
specialize.
But stuff. He's really good at disarming the trap, and he's good at disarming it quietly. You, as a magic user, could use a 10-foot pole to break that poison trap.
Yeah,
sure, it's going to make noise and all that.
We literally found a corner pit trap with a 10-foot pole.
There's Dash. Can you grab him? Let him in.
Oh
yeah.
He might run away.
My cat. You might run away from. Yeah, just let him in. But yeah, I think it's pretty. That's a big different. Is he in? Nice.
Upstairs.
Yeah. So
she changed her name.
Using these weird.
She changed her name.
Using these weird pieces of equipment, you can achieve anything, really. You know what I mean? You can disarm a trap. You can. There's some comments for you in there. Mom says hi, and you look great, Jeff.
Hey, my mom's watching. Hey, Mom.
Mom, don't forget to subscribe and like the channel.
That's awesome.
Glenn says, "Oh, I suspect dad jokes are common in this crowd." Yeah, we have a pretty slapstick group. And you know what's funny, you guys? I'm a serious D&D player. But I can cut them I get really silly at times too. But I like that serious, gritty, dirty, stinky. What's another adjective to put in there?
Chaotic.
No, I'm a lawful good paladin. I like all that really gritty first edition gaming, but. Man, we have a good time. I mean, as far as just the jokes, just all the time. But it's when it's serious and the tension is there. Like I expect when there's tension building, dude, it's tense. Think about trying to get through that 8 hours of rest,
or think about the ending of this, not this last session, but the one before, when 3 out of 6 people were unconscious.
Yeah.
No, 2 were unconscious. 1 was actually dead.
Yeah,
that's how we ended the session.
Yeah,
and I was tripping.
And I'm a big advocate to ending the session with a bang. I did a video on this too because I think it's super important for DMs that are doing campaigns to end each session with not a holy crap moment, but a moment that's going to make them, because you don't remember the middle of the game. What you really remember is that ending. And if you can double down on and double click on that ending, your players will talk either with you or amongst each other all week long until the next session.
And that's all we did.
You and
literally.
Bob,
no,
probably.
2 guys had mummy rot.
Yeah.
I mean, it was the whole thing was like, we're done.
Yeah.
All I want to do is get out of here before I die. So it was so you guys think about the tension, or if you're talking about the game the day after, 2 days after, that's a good game.
Yeah.
That's like the movie you saw and you're still talking about the movie because it was such a good movie.
I remember, dude, going and seeing Empire Strikes Back, and the next day, just like literally had a show and tell, like every morning in 3rd grade, you'd be up there and you get to talk about the movie you saw or the what you did the weekend. And man, there was all of us talking about Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
That was
and just to show you how old I was in 4th grade when Star Wars The New Hope came out.
See, you're old as
yeah, I'm old. And I remember going to my dad, who loves Star Trek, and said, "Dad, I just saw the greatest movie in the world, Star Wars."
Yeah, that's the best thing though. It's like if you're gonna if it's memorable enough to where you're talking about it.
Yeah, and that's
later on.
And that's why I pointed you guys to the blog, because that's how.
Yeah,
I'll put how invested
I'll put it in the notes here.
The players are, how invested Angelo is. I mean, he's even asking you guys if one of you, two of you want to join.
Yeah.
And if you guys are watching us, obviously you guys like something that he's talking about for sure. And if it is Hommlet, damn it.
Yeah.
Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, BOOTHILL, the conventions that he attends. I mean, passionate, real, very real. That's why I come out here. That's why I befriended Angelo. He's a fucking great guy.
Wow.
So
thanks, man.
No, you are, man.
Thanks, man.
You're my HG.
Appreciate it.
Guys, have a great night, man.
Yeah, Dark Hommlet would also be good. Yeah, that's the funny one. I like that.
Right.
The Discord link isn't live. Really interesting.
What?
The Discord link is not live.
How
is that? Let me look.
How can that be?
Let me see. The Discord link is not live.
Oh, Discord.
Let me see. Hold on one second here. Oh, the Discord link in the notes worked for me. Yeah. What's the Discord have a name? What's the Discord have a name? Yeah, it's give me 1 second.
Hommlet-Dart.
No, the Discord channel is the DM and Friends. Yeah, I'll get that to you guys in a second here. I wonder why it didn't get live for you.
Is it under Greyhawk campaign?
Yeah, well, that's once they join the campaign. Yeah, so it's the DM and Friends Discord channel is the name of it. Orc Child. Discord is a freaking beast. Yeah. I got it though. Okay, got it. Cool. Yeah, I do see you jumped on there. Oh, cool, man. There's Shellback. All right. Thanks for joining, bro.
Cool.
Yeah, did the let me see if I can grab the Discord link from
Tommy joined, right on, my brother. Thanks, Tommy.
Yeah, it's a cool place. We all just can't hang out and mess around. It's a good little spot to chill and get some not really behind the scenes stuff, but we all just talk about gaming. And it's really, it's another cool place to just kind of talk.
Definitely a lot of rehash of what happened though.
Yeah.
The latest session.
Let me know if this this works for you guys. Maybe it doesn't. I'm not sure. You're Sir John on Discord? Okay. All right, cool, man. Yeah, jump on there and say hi. Took me from a drive-through theater and see Star Wars. Yeah, you know what? My mom took me to see it at the theater. It wasn't a drive-through, but it was theater. By the way, too, May the 4th is coming up, and that's a Monday. And I'm going to do a special May the 4th Star Wars show. So we'll probably talk about D6 Star Wars, which was my favorite. It looks to work, Angelo. Okay, good. Yeah. If you guys have problems, and this is my email for the show, the DM and Friends at gmail.com. I'm going to put that in there. Yeah, so May the 4th, I want to do a show that's dedicated to Star Wars. And I don't know if you guys know, but the D6 WEG Star Wars is my favorite Star Wars system. And hopefully I'll get some people on there to talk about that, some lovers of Star Wars. Somebody good to talk about that is Stephen Clements. He loves that too. So Stephen, I might hit you up to get on here and talk some West End game Star Wars. So that's another thing I want to really do too, is get into some old school games like Star Frontiers. We talked about BOOTHILL tonight. Star Frontiers, Indiana Jones from the TSR era.
Top Secret.
Top Secret. You love Top Secret.
Yeah, Gamma World.
Gamma World, Metamorphosis Alpha.
Yeah.
What's some other? I'm a huge MERPs fan too, so I love MERP. God, I wish I could find some people to play MERP with me. So I know it's a crunchy game, but I love that game. So anyways, yeah. So there it is. You ready? We out here?
Yeah, you guys.
Okay. Well, you guys, thanks so much. Good to see you all. Appreciate it. Just all the chatting. And,
thanks for the support.
Yeah, dudes and dudettes.
Yep.
Yeah. Join the Discord channel. Let's chat over there.
See
all right, you guys.
Next one.
Take care. Take care of each other.
Yep.
And game on.